The winner of the 2003 Man Booker Prize for Fiction is DBC Pierre.
In een vorig leven was onze volgende gast een drugsverslaafde met criminele neigingen. Sinds zijn bekroonde debuut is hij een wereldberoemd schrijver. En hij heeft een nieuw boek, Licht uit in Wonderland. Uw applaus voor DBC Pierre. DBC Pierre, welcome.
Dankjewel.
Spreek Nederlands.
Not yet. So far I can do the Bob the Bauer song.
Yeah, which is really good. Now in 2003 you published your debut novel. Vernon got raving reviews. Was called the most spectacular novel of the 21st century. You won important literary prizes. Were you overwhelmed by the overnight success?
Yeah. Very simply, yeah. There's no way to recover from that. And if you think I'd never spent time imagining I would be a writer. I hadn't studied or practiced it or anything like that. I was an artist already, and I tried to be an artist with limited success. And so the book just came out, and it was a phenomenal thing. You really can't recover from that.
No. Now, when you won the Man Booker Prize, the media reacted pretty severely. Let's look at some footage.
So, this £50,000 is tales of your exploits.
Oh, Jesus, this won't even touch my pocket.
This won't touch your exploits. This isn't going to touch your pockets.
Fact.
Okay, this is going to your creditors?
Yeah.
Was that a joke? Immediately you had to pay your creditors?
Yeah, that was not even the sixth part of what I paid out.
Oh.
In the end, yeah, which wasn't a problem.
How did you come in that so big?
I was trying to make a film production. I was trying to make a film about Aztecs.
A film about Aztecs with your own money?
No, well, I was borrowing. Yeah, I was borrowing to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
but I was in my 20s. I was stupid. I'd never made a film the same way I'd never written a book before. I'd never made a film before.
That's what the headlines refer to, a thieving junkie?
Yeah, well, no, they refer to other parts of the story. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Well, let's get to it right now, because you often mention your decade of decadence in interviews.
Yeah.
When was that?
When was it?
Yeah.
That was from my teens until the very end of my 20s, till I was about 28. 28, so from 16 to 28, so 12 good years.
And how would an average day in those decadence years, how would it look like?
If I could remember it, I obviously wasn't there. It's a long story. It started out when I was 16. I grew up in a very privileged environment. I grew up in Mexico, and I was there.
Yeah, where you lived in a big mansion.
Yeah, I lived in a big house, and I was there for all of my childhood. And I was mixed with very powerful people. And there came a time, anyway, when I was about 16, that my father fell ill, very badly ill with cancer. And he was treated for about 3 years and died at the end of those 3 years. And during that time, which is probably the time when fathers start to format their children, just to give it a computer term there, and to push them towards what they're going to do, and to begin to talk with them. He wasn't around. But I was left in the house, I was left in this mansion, and my friends moved in straight away.
So you became the wild adolescent.
So, yeah, well, we had a big party. And also, my father was dying, and so I felt I had good reason to drink and do other substances. But, of course, years down the track, that can turn into a different kind of problem.
A bad habit.
Yeah.
What kind of future did your father have in store for you? What did he expect that you would become?
Well, I don't know. He never told me.
No?
He never told me.
Told anybody?
I was an artist. I could draw, and I think he trusted in a certain way that I would become an artist. I had been a cartoonist already, and I could paint and whatever. I had that naturally. And he obviously trusted I would do that, but in terms of maybe going to a university or going to an art school or some project or something, we never got to speak about it, curiously. He was also a busy man.
Yeah, but the booze and drugs period lasted for 10 years. What made you decide to end it?
No, I didn't. It decided to end me.
All right.
It's a different thing, yeah. I hit the end of the road in every respect, with my health, with my mental health, and financially. I just couldn't afford it. I'd sold, I'd begged, borrowed. I mean, the big story is that in the course of this decade, I actually essentially stole a neighbor's house and sold it and used the money to fund drugs.
Can you steal houses?
And it's essentially, well,
it's actually stealing
the house
houses.
is still there.
The house is still there. But
It's a tricky. I have to. Yeah, I mean, not to go the media route with it, but.
No, I'm beginning to get the picture about those creditors. No.
Yeah, well, that was the worst one that I had, but you know, and I never defaulted on any of them. I was never a bankrupt, or I never ran away from that, for instance, and that wasn't a theft in the sense of a theft, but I had agreed to purchase the man's house, and I didn't pay him, but still sold it, and used the money, and you know, situated. So one day became a month, became a year.
And what made you decide to write a novel then?
I got angry. I hit the wall at the end of my 20s, and I actually had to attend a hospital and have counseling and all kinds of stuff. And they turned me around and they said to me, "Listen, all of that's unreal." They said, "Why? How did this all happen?" And I told them, "Well, I had a feeling, a sense that suddenly I would do some really good work of art and things would be fine. I just had a feeling that that would happen." And they said, "Well, obviously that's a fantasy and you have to stop that. You have to get a job, go to a factory, do something normal and give all that up and stay at the bottom." And so for 10 years I did that. I was mostly unemployed. And yeah, because I grew up in a mansion and I didn't know about factories or anything. So at the end of 10 years I got upset because all the things they told me not to do, the culture was now doing.
Right.
Then you could pretend everybody felt they were going to do something great tomorrow. Everyone was going to be a pop star. The era changed, and I got upset with that. And then I saw these children starting to shoot each other in America. And I thought, well, that's frustration now. There's too much pressure on them from the markets and from life. And I just got angry one day, and I wrote the first page of Vernon.
First page.
Yeah. And it was enough. It gave me enough feeling that I wrote another, and I wrote the first draft in about 5 weeks. It was horrible. I had to spend another 18 months on it, but eventually I worked it out.
And now you have a new book, Lights Out in Wonderland. It's a great read. It's a complex story. Can you summarize it? What's the story about?
Can I summarize it? It's about the modern
You've
day.
got 30 seconds.
I've got 30 seconds? I'll do it in 25. This is about the modern day. It's about the idea that in the 20th century, we had ideology. There was communism, there was capitalism, there were different ways people could go. That's all gone now. They all failed. Capitalism has now gone. Communism's gone. Now we have management teams. We don't have governments, those of us who have governments.
Who needs them?
So
We're not even sure we have a management team.
Yeah, we're in a limbo between time. Like the 21st century hasn't really started. Where are we going? Are we just going to wait for another Microsoft product, or what's really happening to human life and to society? It's about that limbo and about a character who decides, well, the first thing he should really do is have a damn good beer, and then find another beer. And so what I've done is put my decadent years into a novel about the times that we're in.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen next, and what should we do?
And what's the Wonderland in the title?
Wonderland. Well, Wonderland refers to our empire of shopping, which has kind of collapsed in the last couple of years. But also it refers to, has at least 3 meanings, refers to a very decadent banquet. our character decides to kill himself on the first page, but then he says, wait, if I'm definitely going to kill myself, then I could have a beer first and then kill myself.
Yeah.
After a while, he says, okay, I'm going to find the most decadent party and the most decadent banquet in history. Then I'll kill myself. And so it's about him finding that decadent banquet.
And in the end, he finds it in Wonderland, and that's then the airport of Tempelhof in Berlin.
In Berlin,
where there's a very strange banquet, the ultimate foodie bacchanal, for which you've written weird recipes.
A chef wrote an actual chef wrote them, yeah. He's on a
Really?
yacht today in near Egypt. Yeah, a chef who deals with very rich people wrote these recipes.
One of them. It's confit of koala leg with lemon saffron chutney.
Here's some instructions. You have to find your own koalas. Right? Rinse and dry the koalas, tying by the neck to allow airflow around the legs. Once dry, liberally sprinkle the legs with salt mixture and rest the marsupials for a minimum of 1 hour and a maximum of 4 hours. It's very important to rest them. Rinse off the salt under running water and have a large pot ready with boiling water and little ginger and spring onion. Blanch each koala leg for 30 seconds and remove. There are 7 good recipes.
Yeah, because there's also recipes for
tiger,
panda pot, a white tiger cup.
Yeah.
Even one about boned out hummingbirds.
Yeah, hummingbirds, great.
Yeah, is that the ultimate decadent fantasy, eating out animals on the verge of
Endangered
extinction?
species. Well, this is a very symbolic book. The idea is, of course, that the character who says, I'm going to kill myself, and then goes on a party, he's like a symbol of the markets who are just saying, okay, we're just going to just profit, we're just going to go until we die. And the banquet is symbolic of that. You know, we're destroying all of these things. And it's not a very green or vegetarian book, obviously, but it does have a symbolism about the modern day, you know.
Yeah. Would you eat it if you had the chance?
Would I eat it? Okay.
I take that as a yes.
Here's the thing. I have to confess and be really honest. If they were going to kill the fresh animal, I wouldn't eat it. But if I walked into a shop in Antwerp and in the back shelf, covered in dust, was a tin of tiger, I would eat that.
Would you, Bruno?
Tin food is always best.
Antwerp is somewhere I haven't been yet. And on Sunday, they're having the world's most exciting
If you're a beer
festival.
lover, which you obviously are,
Belgian
stop
beer.
drinking pills. Drink some of our special beers.
There's plenty of beers.
They gave me this here.
We werken eraan. DBC Pierre komt nu zondag naar Crossing Border in de Arenberg Schouwburg in Antwerpen. Wish you all the best and thank you very much. DBC Pierre.
Thank you very much.